Karl Weierstrass was born in 1815 in a small town in Germany. He was a very smart boy and loved to learn new things. Even when he was young, he enjoyed studying math. However, he didn't always find it easy. In school, some of his teachers didn't understand how good he was at math, and they didn't always give him the support he needed. But Karl didn't give up. He kept studying hard. Karl's family wanted him to have a normal job. They didn't think it was a good idea for him to focus on math. But Karl didn't want to follow their wishes. Instead, he wanted to study math at the university. However, his family didn't have enough money for him to attend university, so he had to work hard to save money for his studies. Eventually, he went to the University of Berlin. There, he studied mathematics, and his passion for the subject grew even more. At university, Karl met many famous mathematicians. He learned from them and also started to learn on his own. Even though he was older than many of the other students, Karl was determined to become a great mathematician. He spent many years working very hard. He spent hours in the library reading books and papers. He also worked with his teachers and other students, learning as much as he could. Karl Weierstrass became famous for his work on functions and calculus. One of his biggest achievements was developing a new way to understand the limits of functions. This was important because understanding limits helps mathematicians study how things change. Karl made it easier for people to understand very complex problems in math. Before Karl, many mathematicians tried to understand the idea of a limit, but they didn't have a clear way to explain it. Karl's work on this topic made a big difference. He helped to show that some functions could be very strange, but still, they followed clear rules. This was an important breakthrough in math. Karl didn't just focus on one topic in math. He was interested in many different areas. He also worked on problems in algebra and analysis. He worked on series, which are sums of many numbers, and he studied how these sums behave in different situations. His work in these areas helped to improve the understanding of math in many different ways. Karl Weierstrass was a teacher as well as a mathematician. He spent many years teaching at the University of Berlin. His students admired him for his deep knowledge of mathematics and his ability to explain difficult ideas. Karl Weierstrass was known to be a very strict teacher, but he also cared a lot about his students. He wanted them to understand math well and to think carefully about problems. Many of his students later became famous mathematicians themselves, thanks to his guidance. Even though Karl was a very serious mathematician, he also had a sense of humor. He enjoyed sharing his love of math with others, and he often made jokes to make his students feel comfortable. He was also very kind and supportive to the young mathematicians he worked with. He wanted to help them succeed and was always ready to offer advice. One of Karl's biggest contributions to math was his work on the Weierstrass function. This is a special kind of function that doesn't have a simple shape. Normally, when mathematicians draw a function, they expect to see a smooth curve, but the Weierstrass function is different. It is very jagged and doesn't look smooth at all. This was a surprising discovery, because it showed that not all functions are simple or easy to understand. Before Karl Weierstrass's work, mathematicians thought that most functions were smooth. But Karl's work changed that idea. He showed that some functions could be very complicated, but still follow rules that mathematicians could study. This was an important step forward in the field of mathematics, because it helped people understand that math is much more complicated and interesting than they had thought before. Karl's work didn't just help with understanding functions. It also helped improve the whole field of analysis. Analysis is the branch of mathematics that deals with limits, continuity, and other important ideas. His ideas were so important that many people still study them today. They are part of the foundation of modern mathematics. Karl's work also influenced other mathematicians. Some of the most famous mathematicians of his time were inspired by him. One of them was the mathematician Felix Klein, who later became famous for his own work in geometry. Another famous mathematician, Edmund Landau, learned a lot from Karl Weierstrass's teachings. Karl was known for helping many students and young mathematicians reach their full potential. Karl Weierstrass did not stop working on math until the end of his life. Even in his later years, he was still studying new ideas and solving difficult problems. He never became tired of learning and discovering new things. He was always looking for ways to improve his own knowledge and to help others understand math better. Karl Weierstrass passed away in 1897. Even after his death, his ideas continued to shape the world of mathematics. Today, many of the things he worked on are still important in the study of math. His contributions have helped mathematicians solve many problems that were once thought to be unsolvable. His life is an example of how determination and hard work can lead to success. Even though Karl faced many challenges in his life, including doubts from his family and teachers, he never gave up on his love for mathematics. He showed that if you are passionate about something and work hard at it, you can achieve great things. Karl Weierstrass's story is a reminder that math is not just about numbers and formulas, but about finding new ways to understand the world. His work changed the way people thought about functions and analysis, and his influence continues to be felt by mathematicians all over the world. Even today, Karl Weierstrass is remembered as one of the greatest mathematicians of the 19th century. His work laid the foundation for many important developments in mathematics, and his legacy lives on in the work of mathematicians who continue to study the ideas he introduced. Through his persistence and dedication to learning, Karl Weierstrass showed that anyone who loves a subject and works hard at it can make a big difference. His life is an inspiring example for students, mathematicians, and anyone who believes in the power of hard work and determination.